Good morning. My name is Donna Kiker. I'm 4-H assistant for the Redwell County Extension Office and the 4-H program. Thank you for participating in our summer workshops. This is kind of a new experience for me, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So the kit you signed up for today is the watercolor kit, and in that kit we have a cardboard folder that has your watercolor paper in it and some silhouette pictures for later on. You'll have a set of watercolors, a Sharpie marker, a white crayon, a roll of tape. It might be any color depending on what I ordered, an assortment of colors, so it won't just necessarily be black. You'll get a cup so you can put water in it, and that's what will be in your kit. You will need some napkins or paper towels and a pencil and a pair of scissors. Take your paint kit. I'm not going to use that one, that's a brand new one. We'll use the one I've been using. And as you get your water kit out, you need some water. You need to just take your brush and get each one of these colors wet. So dab water on all of them. You don't necessarily have to get color from it yet, just make them wet. The water will soak into those colors. As you see, I've had to practice. You might want to start with your lighter colors first, so you don't get them. Yellow's pretty hard to keep clean or keep it bright with the other colors. Okay, so as that is setting there, that's going to absorb into the paint and make it easier to use. So there's different watercolor techniques, and in your kit you're going to get a brush that looks like this. There's other brushes you can either buy at Walmart, or you might have them around home or in some craft store that are a little bigger, a little softer. If you want to invest in those or you want to try those out, you sure can. Bigger brushes, of course, make the painting go faster. So the paper that's in your kit is for watercolor painting. It's for crafts. That is available in craft stores as well. One thing, if you have a surface that is washable and that you can clean up afterwards, you can tape your watercolor down, your paper down, and then it won't curl on the edges. So it kind of curls when it gets wet. So if you tape it down, or if mom or in whoever's house you are at doing this, if they have a big cutting board that they use in the kitchen or the back of a pan or something, if you want to tape it on that, that'll help keep your paper flat. So when we do watercolors, we can do them two different ways. We can wet the paper and then get our dab of color and watch it run in the water. Or we can start with the paper dry in the paint and add the water to it. And make it either as dark or light as you want. You can let it dry, and you can, if it's something you don't like for example, I forgot what I was doing. If you're fast enough, you can get it dabbed up pretty good, not completely, but you see how the paper will soak it up. If you really want to get rid of it, get it nice and wet. Keep trying to soak it up. So it's kind of forgiving. Means you can hide your mistakes or change your mind. We're going to do the silhouette painting, and you can do all kinds of different ones, whatever you would like. And that's part of the fun of watercolors, is watching how it runs and fades and how colors mix together, how we end up with red and blue will make the purple if we didn't use the purple, and it's kind of fun to watch those kind of things. So I have put in your kit about 4 different, these are called silhouette pictures. Now, what I would do is, it's going to come on a sheet of paper and you need to cut them out. Or if you have access to a computer, you can find your own pictures, trace them onto the paper, trace around them, take that off, so you can play with your watercolors. You can make a sunrise, a sunset. You can have nothing but the graded colors around it. Whatever your creativity is and your talents. And it's like the silhouette part. If you're talented enough to draw that without tracing, you're more than welcome to do it. That's what makes each art piece yours. And I'm trying to do this upside down and I'm not doing too good. But you just trace around it and then fill it in with a black marker, okay? So then you end up with a picture like this. Okay, our next project is going to be watercolor resist painting. And by resist, we are going to do rubbings with our watercolor. And this can be any texture you find throughout the house, outdoors, wherever you find it. We can lay it down. I'm using some leaves that I got off the trees right outside the door. I'm going to lay my paper on here. And I'm going to take the white crayon and rub to get the design of the leaves. Okay. So on this picture, I actually used a yellow crayon, and you guys can experiment and do that with crayons from your house. But once again, we can either paint the paper with water first and then add the color. So if we keep painting, we can find the design. And you can use all one color. If you want to use more than one color, you sure can. And you can do one to start with and then come back in. So if you look real close, you can see the resist part is where the white crayon is at. So basically the watercolor is not soaking in to where that wax crayon has touched the paper. All right. So you can use your creativity in finding anything to rub and make texture on the back, and use whatever colors you want. You can use multiple colors. You can use just one, whatever you'd like. Our next project, or final project, is stained glass watercolors. So if we think of a stained glass window in a church or other buildings that we're used to being around, it's kind of outlined, and there's a solid part that makes the frame, and then the color is in between. So what you have in your kit is you have painter's tape. You can start by taping that watercolor paper however you want, with as many little corners Like I said, it can be however you want it to be. You can make it symmetrical, which means it's the same on each side, or you can not be symmetrical. Some of us have preferences to what we like in that way. I have a tendency not to like things symmetrical, because then you have to have them even. So if you make them intentionally crooked, nobody knows. So what we're going to do is, after you tape, and there again, you've got the paint margins, or wherever the tape, there's not going to be paint where the tape is. So I can make each one whatever I want. And there again, I can make it as light or as dark. Oops. So there's my mistake, guys. Kids. And that's kind of how I fix that. So I might not want to choose yellow to go in there, because yellow probably won't hide it as well. So you see, the less water you use, the brighter your colors are. And if you run out of your paint in here, you just keep adding your water to it in the paint tray. If you like pastels, lighter colors, then add more water and less paint. And I don't like brown the best, but we could put brown in there. So then when you're all done, I wouldn't wait forever, because the longer you wait, the harder the tape is to come off. And I'm not quite done, but I'm just showing you how it works. There was a little bit of paper come off with that one. I went a little fast. Oops. Okay. So, when we're all finished with when you're finished with your drawings or your watercolor creations, if you're in 4-H and you want to enter it in, the project you need to be enrolled in is Portfolio Pathways, and it needs to enter it at fair, it needs to come ready to display in your home. So you would want to put it in a mat or a picture frame and have it ready to hang on the wall. So you take your best picture and make it so you can hang it in your room, or for mom or dad or somebody in your family that would enjoy it. And when you run out of supplies that are in your kit, most everything can be found at a local dollar store or Walmart or Hobby Lobby. All those places, you just need to get to one of those places and get you some more. Okay, thank you for listening.